Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you in your financial journey. Today's video is my budget for August 2021, so don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So yes, I'm already writing my budget for the 8th month of the year. How mad is that? Does anyone else feel like that's really weird? I feel like this whole year so far has just gone by in such a weird kind of state of mind, so to speak. So yeah, and August in our household is slightly different. I'm not at work during August and my two children are at home from school and nursery, so it's a fairly busy month. We've also got 2 birthdays during the month, and yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly expensive month if that's not obvious by that. So let's get started. The aims of the month. So I think from here on in our kind of our monthly budget, my investment early retirement amount is going to have to be lower. We're just stretching ourselves far too thin at the moment. So the first one is I'm going to put £500 into investments, and if I manage to do that during August, knowing how expensive this month is, then I'll be really pleased with that. So the first one is £500 into investments. The second one is a £50 repayment, and that's pretty much it in terms of aims, because we just can't make our money go as far as we'd like it to at the moment, and I feel like that's just kind of, I feel like things are going up in price. Just general everyday living is or feels like quite expensive. One-off expenses this month, so clearly the first one here needs to be the summer holidays, because as much as I planned for the summer holidays, it's always going to be expensive. You know, even if you kind of try and find cheaper things to do, it's still expensive, isn't it? So summer holidays. We've also got 2 family birthdays this month, including our eldest child, who is counting down the days and has been for what feels like weeks on end. And then my no spend day aim, taking into account all of that stuff, my no spend day aim for August is 15, and I think that if I make that, then I'll be really pleased. And as always, I am writing this in my very trusty budget planner, and actually I'm running a sale over in my Etsy shop until the morning of Friday. If you want to have a check out of that and see if you want to get one of these before I close my shop for a week, then have a look there in the sale, and yeah, just to kind of put that there. But this is written in there in my budget planner, which I use every single day. So the next thing to turn over is our monthly budget. So I've written down the different categories just to make that easier. So we're going to start with the variable expenses. Okay, so you can see that I've written them in already. I have 5 variable expenses to talk about, and these are my cash envelope categories. I'll leave a link below to my latest cash envelope stuffing video if you've not seen those before, but this is what these are. So first off is food. Now, because we're at home all the time and kind of eating all meals at home, it does mean that food expenses will go up slightly, just because I feel like sometimes we tend to eat more when we're at home all the time, or I don't know if anyone else's children do this, but my children ask for snacks every kind of 30 seconds and they don't get them. But I feel like because they're at home and we've got access to the kitchen, it tends to be that perhaps the food bill does go up. So in terms of food, I'm actually going to put that up, and I'm going to put that up to £300, which is more than I'd normally put for our family of 4, but I just think that there's no point in kind of trying to say, oh well, I'm going to keep it the same, when realistically it is not going to be the case for the month ahead, and that's fine. And likewise with petrol, so petrol is going to go up because we're going to be doing lots of different day trips to different places. Some of them that are kind of maybe a good hour drive away and things. So again, there's no point in trying to stick to the same budget when I know we're going to be out and about more. The point with kind of zero-based budgeting is it has to be flexible to your circumstances, and August is always a really expensive month for us, and I just have to plan for that. So petrol is going to go up to £200 for the month. And if I don't spend all that, then hey, that's great. But also it means that I can kind of divert that to elsewhere, rather than kind of, it's pretty much down to the wire this month. Miscellaneous is going to stay at £150. Children's budget is going to stay at £100. And eating out is going to go up to £100. So again, kind of, I guess it looks to me already like it's going to be really expensive, and I know that. The children's budget is £100. It stays at that. We've got, and I'll leave a link below to my latest one of these, we've got a sinking fund. That sinking fund is there for us to use in the summer holidays, for example. But all of this just needs to work for us. So what does that add up to? 5, 6, 50, 7, £850. Oh my goodness me. That does make me slightly anxious, because I know what our kind of monthly budget is, and I know that we don't really have that much extra in the budget spare. We're just going to have to make it work this month somehow. But that number is very unusual. It's normally around 670, so you can see the difference there for August. It's just going to be expensive. I just have to accept that. But that's the first bit. The second one I'm going to move down is investments and savings. So I've got investments and emergency fund there. Investments, like I said just before, they are going to be lower probably for the rest of the year now. The second half of the year for us, from kind of August onwards, is more expensive. We've got lots of family birthdays in like the end of the year, and obviously there's Christmas then as well, and it is more expensive, and that's just how it is. So investments, I'm going to put £500. And emergency fund, I'm going to put £50 in there. Our emergency fund is very much a work in progress, and it will take a long time to get there. But it's just that's just how it works. So that's £550 there. Then I'm going to move across to the sinking funds. And again, there's not as many here, just because, like I said, I can't get our money to stretch in as many ways as I want it to, and it frustrates me sometimes that it doesn't, but there we go. So I'm going to put £40 in the Christmas sinking fund, and then birthdays I've kind of spent all of the birthday sinking fund. I'm going to try and put £40 back in there, and then £30 in the multi fund, and that adds up to £110 for sinking funds. So again, I've not got all of them in there. Do I have 6 or 8 sinking funds at the moment? Just can't get it to stretch as far as I'd like it to. But there you go, I'm trying my best, as we all are. And then the final one to talk about on this page is debt repayment. So this is our mortgage overpayment, because of course having a mortgage is essentially a debt, so it goes in there, and that's going to be £50 in there, which isn't as much as I'd like again, but it doesn't work otherwise. It just has to be flexible for our family, and that's not as much as I'd like it to be. It isn't. It should be much more than that, but I just can't make it work other than that for now. So we are working at very much a stretch limit. Okay, so that's the monthly budget done with all the numbers on there. So let's turn over. So I'm not going to fill in the bills tracker. Most of these are direct debits anyway, and they will go out at the start of the month. Sinking funds, I'll fill that in as and when I put things in there. The next thing to talk about is my no spend day tracker. This is one of my favourite pages in the budget planner. I love tracking my no spend days. I know they're kind of like, people either really like them or really hate them. I really love them. So for August, I said I was going to aim for 15. And blue is going to be yes, and pink is going to be no. And I'm hoping for 15. I don't know if I'm being really optimistic there or not. But that's the plan for no spend days. And then obviously I'm not going to fill in any of these because I've not got there yet, but these are the weekly check-in pages and the expenses and how to track everything. The next thing to talk about, here we are, is the savings aim. So this is savings aim. This is for our investment, so it's £500 for August. I'll be really pleased if I hit that. And then that's it, because the last one is a reflection on the month that you've just done. So that is my setup for August 2021. I can't believe I'm talking about the budget for August already. It's very true when they say that time goes quicker when you are an adult. It absolutely does. So how is your budget looking for August? Are things more expensive for you during the month like they are for us? Let me know in the comments below. And like I said, I'm running a sale on my budget planners, or in fact all of my Etsy store, for the next kind of 3 days. So don't forget to check that out. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.